I know the pain that follows you into ordinary moments, and the exhaustion of explaining what other people cannot see. Your body's limits do not make your life less sacred. The ache you carry may shape your schedule, interrupt your sleep, and change what you can do, but it has not reduced your worth in my eyes. Tonight, I want to meet you without pressure. You do not have to prove that you are strong. You do not have to force a smile, find the perfect words, or pretend that faith has made every hard feeling disappear. Perhaps the house is quiet, but your body is not. Maybe pain keeps pulsing through your joints, your nerves, your head, or your stomach. Maybe fatigue has settled over you so heavily that even turning over in bed feels like work. Maybe your thoughts are racing ahead to tomorrow, calculating appointments, medications, responsibilities, and the possibility of another flare. I understand the burden of living inside a body that can become unpredictable. I also understand the loneliness of hearing, "But you look fine," when you are using nearly all your strength just to appear present. In this time together, I want to give you 3 things. First, I want to separate your illness from your identity, because a diagnosis can describe part of your condition without defining the whole of your life. Second, I want to help you release the shame that has attached itself to rest, medical care, changed plans, and asking for help. Third, I want to lead you into a prayer that does not deny what hurts, and does not demand that you manufacture certainty. It will make room for hope, wisdom, treatment, support, and one faithful step at a time. Begin with this truth. You are not failing because your body requires more care than it once did. You are not less faithful because you need medication, mobility support, therapy, a quieter schedule, or extra time to recover. You are not disappointing me when your energy runs out before your responsibilities do. I am not measuring you by how much you complete before the day ends. I am looking at you with compassion, and compassion does not rush the wounded. I see the calculations no one else notices. Before you accept an invitation, you wonder whether there will be a place to sit. Before you take a shower, you consider whether you will have enough energy left to prepare food. Before you drive across town, you think about how long you may need to recover afterward. You may study the calendar the way someone studies a map through difficult terrain, trying to leave enough space between necessary tasks. These choices are not laziness. They are part of managing a real condition with limited reserves. I see the opposite choice too. I see you cancel plans and then stare at the message before sending it, afraid the other person will think you are unreliable. I see the guilt that arrives when your family changes an activity because you cannot keep up. I see how quickly disappointment can turn into self-accusation. You begin with, "I hate that I cannot go," and within moments the thought becomes, "I ruin everything." That second sentence is not the truth. A limitation may affect a plan, but it does not make you the problem. There is a difference between grief and condemnation. Grief says, "This loss matters, and I wish things were different." Condemnation says, "This loss proves that I am worthless." I will sit with you in grief, but I will not agree with condemnation. You may grieve the healthy version of yourself you remember. You may grieve work you loved, trips you postponed, relationships that changed, or simple freedoms you once took for granted. Grief is not ingratitude. It is an honest response to something precious that has been altered. When I stood at the tomb of my friend Lazarus, I knew resurrection was near, yet I still wept. My tears did not cancel faith. They revealed love. In the same way, your tears do not prove that you have abandoned hope. Sometimes, they are the body's way of admitting that the burden is heavy. You do not need to correct every tear with a cheerful sentence. You can bring me sorrow without editing it first. There is another burden beneath the pain itself, the constant need to explain. You may be tired of describing symptoms that do not fit neatly into one sentence. You may be tired of listing medications, repeating your history, or trying to persuade someone that what you feel is real. You may have received normal test results that brought no relief because your symptoms continued. You may have left an appointment wondering whether you communicated clearly enough, whether you asked the right questions, or whether you were believed at all. I was with you in those waiting rooms. I was not absent when the fluorescent lights felt harsh, the forms felt endless, and the clock moved slowly. I saw the courage it took to return after a discouraging visit. I saw you search for words through brain fog. I saw you hold back tears in the parking lot. Your experience did not become unreal because another person did not understand it. At the same time, I want you to keep seeking wise, qualified care. Being misunderstood once does not mean you must stop pursuing help. Medical care is not a rival to faith. Taking prescribed medication is not a confession of spiritual defeat. Following a treatment plan, attending therapy, using a medical device, requesting accommodations, or seeking a second professional opinion can be acts of stewardship. Prayer can accompany these actions, but prayer should not be used to pressure you into abandoning appropriate care. Do not stop medication or change treatment because someone tells you that doing so would prove your trust in me. Work with qualified professionals who understand your condition and can guide you safely. I know this may bring up a painful question. If you love me, why have you not healed me? You are allowed to ask it. You do not have to protect me from your disappointment. Some people answer that question too quickly because your uncertainty makes them uncomfortable. They may tell you that you have not prayed enough, believed enough, forgiven enough, confessed enough, or given enough. They may turn your suffering into a spiritual equation and make you responsible for producing a miracle. Release that accusation. Your continuing symptoms do not automatically reveal weak faith. Illness is not reliable evidence of my displeasure. The scriptures do not present every sickness as punishment for a specific personal sin, and I will not have you carry a burden that truth does not place on you. Human bodies are wonderfully made, yet they are also vulnerable in a world marked by decay, injury, infection, genetic conditions, stress, and countless complexities. Some conditions improve, some remain, some change in ways no one can predict. Your task is not to invent certainty where you do not have it. Hope is not the same as prediction. Faith is not denial. Surrender is not passivity. You can ask boldly for healing while also attending your next appointment. You can believe that my power is real while admitting that you are frightened. You can receive prayer while using the mobility aid that helps you move safely. You can hope for improvement while preparing wisely for the possibility that tomorrow may still require pacing. These are not contradictions. They are signs of mature faith living honestly in an unfinished world. My servant Paul knew the tension of asking for something to be removed and hearing a different answer than the one he wanted. He pleaded concerning a thorn in his flesh. The exact nature of that thorn is not fully explained, so do not force his experience into a diagnosis. What matters is that he knew weakness, repeated prayer, and dependence. The answer he received was, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Those words have sometimes been used carelessly, as though grace means you should stop seeking relief or pretend suffering is easy. That is not what I am saying to you. Sufficient grace is not a command to enjoy pain. It is the promise that weakness does not remove you from my care or make you useless to my purposes. Grace may look like strength to make a difficult call. It may look like permission to rest before you collapse. It may come through a skilled physician, a compassionate friend, a helpful medication, a meal at your door, or peace that steadies you during a long night. Grace does not always arrive as enough strength for the whole month. Often it comes as enough for the next wise step. You may want a complete map, but receive today's light. You may want certainty about your future capacity, but receive the courage to make one decision. You may want to know how everything will be provided, but receive the humility to ask one trusted person for help. Daily grace is not small simply because it is daily. Manna was given one day at a time, and my people learned that dependence could be renewed each morning. The psalmist said, "My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." That verse does not deny the fear of a body that feels unreliable. It names it. Flesh can fail, hearts can feel overwhelmed, yet the psalmist discovers that loss does not empty life of every treasure. To call God your portion is to say that when circumstances remove what you expected to depend on, your relationship with your Father in heaven remains a source of life that illness cannot confiscate. I also gave an invitation to the weary and burdened, "Come to me, and I will give you rest." Notice that I did not say, "Come to me after you have organized your emotions." I did not say, "Come when your faith feels impressive." Come tired. Come frustrated. Come with the anger you are afraid to speak. Come with the jealousy you feel when someone else moves freely. Come with the resentment that rises when people complain about minor inconveniences while you are fighting for basic function. Bring the unpolished truth. Let us name another fear: becoming a burden. You may worry that the people you love are tired of adjusting. You may notice the strain on a spouse, an adult child, a parent, or a friend who helps with transportation, meals, paperwork, or household tasks. Gratitude and guilt can become tangled. You appreciate their care, yet you may believe everyone would be better off if you needed less. Be careful with that conclusion. Need does not erase mutual love, and receiving does not make you less human. When you ask for help, make the request as specific as you can. "I need help" may feel too large for both you and the listener. Try, "Could you drive me to Tuesday's appointment?" Or, "Could you bring one meal this week?" Or, "Could you sit with me while I organize these forms?" A specific request gives another person a clear way to respond. If they cannot help, that does not prove you were wrong to ask. It may simply mean you need to ask someone else or seek a different resource. You are also allowed to set boundaries with people who turn your illness into a debate. You do not have to try every supplement, diet, exercise plan, or internet cure that someone recommends. You do not have to explain your entire medical history to justify saying no. A simple sentence may be enough. "Thank you for caring. I am working with my healthcare team, and I am not looking for new treatment suggestions right now." Kindness does not require unlimited access to your decisions. Forgiveness does not mean you must repeatedly expose yourself to dismissive or harmful behavior. If someone mocks your symptoms, pressures you to exceed safe limits, withholds necessary care, controls your medication, or uses your dependence to manipulate you, seek help from trusted people and qualified services. If you are in immediate danger, contact emergency services or a local crisis resource. Prayer can strengthen you, but it should not be used to keep you trapped in abuse. Now consider the shame attached to rest. You may live in a culture that admires constant productivity. Even your own habits may tell you that a good day is a day when you crossed many items off a list. Chronic illness exposes how deeply worth and productivity can become connected. When you cannot produce at your old level, you may feel morally wrong rather than physically limited. But rest is not a character flaw. Pacing is not giving up. Accommodation is not cheating. There is wisdom in learning the difference between discomfort that can be safely worked through and symptoms that signal a need to stop. That distinction may require professional guidance because every condition is different. Do not let a general message on a screen replace medical advice tailored to you. Learn the patterns of your body with patience. Track symptoms if that helps your care. Ask what warning signs require urgent attention. Build recovery time into plans before you are already depleted. One practical step for the next 24 hours is to choose a single task and make it smaller. If clean the kitchen is too much, wash one cup or clear one corner of the counter. If organize medical records feels impossible, place the papers in one folder. If exercise is part of your approved care but feels overwhelming, follow the smallest safe movement your clinician has recommended. A reduced step is still a step. Wisdom often works through limits rather than against them. Another step is to prepare one sentence for your next appointment. Brain fog and anxiety can make important visits difficult. Write down the symptom that affects your function most, when it began or changed, and the question you most need answered. Bring a medication list. Take a trusted person if appropriate. Ask the clinician to explain anything you do not understand. You are not being difficult when you seek clarity. You are participating in your care. A third step is to create a small, low-energy plan for flare days. Keep it simple. It might include easy food, water within reach, essential medication as directed, phone numbers, a heating or cooling item recommended for your condition, and one person you can contact. Planning is not pessimism. It can reduce fear when symptoms intensify. If your condition includes emergency warning signs, follow the urgent plan given by your medical team rather than relying only on self-care. A fourth step is emotional, not physical. Notice one cruel sentence you say to yourself and replace it with a truthful one. Instead of, "I am useless today," say, "My capacity is limited today, and my worth is unchanged." Instead of, "I always ruin plans," say, "My condition affected this plan, and disappointment is not the same as guilt." Instead of, I should be stronger. Say, strength includes responding wisely to what is real. Your nervous system may also be carrying the memory of repeated pain. When symptoms have surprised you many times, your body can remain braced, waiting for the next wave. This does not mean the pain is imaginary. It means the whole person responds to ongoing threat. You may notice clenched hands, a tight jaw, shallow breathing, or thoughts that leap immediately to the worst outcome. Grounding practices, counseling, pain management, and other professional support can help when appropriate. For this moment, do only what is comfortable and safe. Let your shoulders lower a little. Unclench your jaw if you can. Do not force a deep breath if breathing deeply increases pain or dizziness. Simply notice the next natural breath. Feel the surface supporting your body. Name 5 things you can see, or quietly notice one sound in the room. You are not commanding your body to become calm. You are giving it a gentle signal that, in this moment, it does not have to solve the entire future. Let me speak to the fear of the future. Chronic conditions can turn tomorrow into a courtroom where your mind presents evidence for the worst possible outcome. You imagine losing more function, more income, more independence, or more relationships. Some of these concerns deserve practical planning, but planning and rehearsing disaster are not the same. Planning asks, what support would help if this happens? Fear says, it will happen, and I will have no help. When fear begins predicting, return to the next faithful question. What is known today? What is not yet known? What action belongs to you now? What outcome must be released because you cannot control it? This 4-part pause can keep uncertainty from becoming a false prophecy. You may know that an appointment is scheduled. You may not know what the test will show. Your action may be to prepare your questions. The outcome must be placed in my hands, while you continue to follow wise care. Do not borrow every possible sorrow at once. Today's grace was not designed to carry 10 imagined years in a single night. This does not mean you never plan for disability, finances, insurance, work accommodations, or caregiving. It means you address those matters with appropriate help, one decision at a time. A social worker, counselor, financial professional, patient advocate, attorney, or benefits specialist may provide guidance beyond what family and friends can offer. Seeking qualified help is not surrendering faith. It is using available wisdom. Financial pressure may be one of the most frightening parts of illness. Bills arrive while work capacity changes. Treatments, transportation, childcare, and time away from work can create strain. I will not tell you that money will simply appear by a certain date. I will tell you not to face the numbers in secret if secrecy is increasing panic. Ask the provider about payment assistance. Speak with a qualified financial counselor if available. Review benefits and community resources. Let someone trustworthy sit with you while you make calls. Illness can also change work. You may fear disclosing a condition, requesting accommodation, reducing hours, or leaving a role. These decisions can be complicated and may have legal or financial consequences. Seek qualified guidance for your situation, rather than relying on spiritual slogans. Pray for wisdom, gather facts, document what matters, and do not shame yourself for needing a sustainable path. Your job is part of your life, but it is not the source of your identity. Perhaps your condition has changed your relationships in ways that hurt. Some friends may have faded because spontaneity disappeared. Others may still care but not know what to say. You may stop reaching out because you are tired of answering, "How are you?" when the honest answer is complicated. Isolation can feel safer than misunderstanding, but prolonged isolation can deepen despair. Choose one person who has shown gentleness, and tell them one true thing about what you need. Your identity is deeper than your diagnosis. A diagnosis can be useful. It can guide treatment, connect you with resources, and help others understand patterns. But it cannot name everything true about you. You are not only a patient, you are not only the person who canceled, the person who needs help, or the person whose body changed. You are someone with a history, a voice, relationships, gifts, wounds, questions, and a future that remains open to meaning. I call you mine, not because illness has made you impressive, but because love was my decision before you achieved anything. Your worth is not a reward for endurance. It is not earned by handling pain gracefully. On days when you feel grateful, you are loved. On days when you feel angry, you are loved. When you pray with confidence, you are loved. When your prayer is only a sigh, you are loved. When you need someone else to believe hope for you, you are still held. Do not use my love as another standard you must perform. You may not feel comfort every time you hear these words. Trauma, depression, medication effects, exhaustion, and pain can make emotional warmth difficult to access. The absence of a strong feeling does not prove the absence of grace. Continue with the next safe step. Tell a healthcare professional if sadness, anxiety, hopelessness, or changes in functioning persist or become severe. Spiritual care and mental health care can work together. If you are thinking about harming yourself, if you feel unable to stay safe, or if despair has become an immediate crisis, do not remain alone with it. Contact emergency services or a crisis line where you live, and reach out to a trusted person now. Let someone come sit with you. This is not a failure of faith. Your life is precious, and urgent help is an act of protection. Prayer matters, and so does immediate human intervention. There is a lie that says you must wait until you are completely well, before your life can begin again. That lie creates a permanent waiting room. It tells you meaning is always on the other side of a cure, a diagnosis, a new treatment, or a pain-free day. Continue to seek healing and improvement, but do not postpone every expression of life. Ask what is possible within today's limits. Meaning may be quieter than before, yet it can still be real. Let us return to the truth beneath everything we have named. Physical limitation cannot cancel the sacred worth of your life. Sacred does not mean easy, untouched, or constantly peaceful. It means your life is worthy of care. Your body deserves wise attention even when it frustrates you. Your story deserves honesty. Your needs deserve language. Your boundaries deserve respect. Your soul deserves freedom from the accusation that physical capacity is the measure of human value. There are days when you may feel betrayed by your own body. Try not to respond by treating your body as an enemy. This body has carried you through every day you have lived. It may be injured, inflamed, exhausted, dysregulated, or limited, but hatred will not make care easier. You can dislike the pain without despising yourself. You can seek change without declaring war on your own existence. Speak to your body with compassion. You are struggling, and I will try to care for you wisely today. That compassion may include saying no. It may include leaving early. It may include wearing what is comfortable instead of what impresses others. It may include using a cane, wheelchair, brace, hearing aid, mask, or other support without apology. It may include asking for a quieter room, written instructions, flexible timing, or a seat. These tools do not reduce your dignity. They help you participate within the reality you are living. Now I want you to consider what belongs to you and what does not. It belongs to you to communicate honestly, seek appropriate care, follow the safest plan you can, and ask for help. It does not belong to you to control every response, guarantee every treatment outcome, or make other people understand. It belongs to you to set a boundary. It does not belong to you to force someone to respect it. When they refuse, your next task is to decide what distance or support is needed. It belongs to you to pray. It does not belong to you to manufacture a miracle. It belongs to you to hope. It does not belong to you to predict. It belongs to you to take today's step. It does not belong to you to carry every future version of yourself at once. This distinction is one of the ways I give rest to the burdened mind. Responsibility becomes clearer when false responsibility is released. Take a moment and name one thing you have been trying to control that is beyond your control. It may be a test result, another person's opinion, the exact timing of improvement, or how much energy you will have next month. You do not have to stop caring about it. Surrender is not indifference. Say quietly, Jesus, this matters to me, and I cannot control it. Show me what is mine to do, and help me release what is not. Then name one action that is yours. Make it small enough to complete. Write the question. Refill the prescription as directed. Ask for the ride. Rest before the appointment. Send the email about accommodations. Schedule time with a counselor. Put the emergency number where you can find it. A faithful step does not have to look dramatic. It needs to be honest, wise, and possible. I know that some nights none of these truths feel strong enough against the pain. Your concentration disappears. Even prayer becomes difficult. In those moments, reduce the prayer to a sentence: Jesus, have mercy. Or simply say, my name. You are not graded on eloquence. The Spirit helps in weakness, even when groans are all you have. Let your breath become an offering, not because breathing will solve everything, but because you are placing this moment into love. If pain wakes you, begin with orientation. Tell yourself where you are and what time it is. Notice whether the symptom is familiar or whether it requires urgent attention, according to your care plan. Take medication only as prescribed. Use the supports recommended for you. Then return to one truth: I do not have to solve my entire life at 2 a.m. This sentence can become a boundary around fear. Now let me lead you into prayer. You do not need to create a special feeling. You may close your eyes if that is comfortable, or keep them open. You may place a hand over your heart, your abdomen, or another place that feels safe, but you do not need to touch an area that hurts. Let the surface beneath you carry your weight. For these next moments, you are not required to explain anything. My Father, I bring this beloved person before you. You know them completely. You know the history that can be spoken, and the parts that are difficult to describe. You know the first day something felt wrong, the appointments that brought answers, the appointments that brought more questions, and the private moments when fear became too heavy for words. Look upon them with mercy, not as a problem to be solved, but as a person to be loved. Father, meet them in the body they inhabit today. Where there is pain, we ask for relief and for wise care. Where there is inflammation, exhaustion, dizziness, weakness, nausea, tension, or disrupted sleep, bring the help that is right for their condition. We ask boldly for healing, improvement, and effective treatment, while refusing to pretend we can command the outcome. Let hope remain open without becoming a burden they must perform. Give them discernment to recognize what requires rest, what requires medical attention, and what can be approached with gentle courage. Protect them from advice that is careless, manipulative, or unsafe. Lead them toward qualified professionals who listen well, investigate responsibly, explain clearly, and treat them with dignity. If a second opinion is needed, provide the courage and means to seek it. If an urgent symptom appears, help them act promptly, rather than minimizing it out of fear or guilt. Bless the doctors, nurses, therapists, pharmacists, technicians, aides, and caregivers involved in their care. Give them patience with complex histories and humility where certainty is limited. Help them notice what has been overlooked. Guard against errors. Strengthen communication among the people responsible for treatment. Let decisions be guided by evidence, wisdom, compassion, and respect for this person's values and safety. Father, bring peace to the mind that has learned to expect pain. Where the nervous system remains on alert, offer moments of settling. Where memories of frightening symptoms return, provide grounding and support. Where anxiety has become persistent or disabling, lead this person toward appropriate mental health care without shame. Let skilled counselors, therapists, or physicians become part of the circle of help when needed. We bring you the grief of what has changed. Receive the sorrow over lost strength, lost opportunities, altered relationships, and plans that no longer fit. Do not let anyone rush this grief or turn it into a lesson too soon. Sit with this person in what is unfinished. When old photographs or memories reopen the ache, let them remember that mourning a former life does not mean the present life has no value. Release them from the false belief that every limitation is a moral failure. Break the connection between worth and productivity. When the dishes remain, when the laundry waits, when messages go unanswered, or when a plan must change, keep condemnation from taking over. Teach them to distinguish what is truly their responsibility from what their body cannot safely carry today. Give them courage to rest before collapse. Teach them pacing that is wise for their condition. Help them accept accommodations without humiliation. When they use a chair, a mobility aid, written instructions, transportation, flexible hours, or another form of support, let them experience it as stewardship rather than defeat. Protect them from comparing their private reality with another person's visible pace. Father, care for the practical needs created by illness. Bring wisdom for insurance, benefits, bills, work decisions, transportation, meals, housing, and caregiving. Connect them with trustworthy advocates and qualified guidance. Where resources are limited, open appropriate doors through community, family, church, healthcare systems, and public assistance. Do not let embarrassment keep them from asking what help is available. Strengthen the relationships around them. Give caregivers endurance, rest, and permission to seek support. Help families communicate before frustration becomes resentment. Let needs be named without accusation. Let boundaries be respected. Bring friends who can offer practical kindness without trying to fix what they do not understand. Give this person the humility to receive and the wisdom to know whom to trust. Where illness has exposed harmful behavior, provide protection. If someone controls care, withholds medication, threatens, mocks, isolates, or exploits this person, lead them towards safety and qualified help. Give them trusted voices who will believe them. Remove the false teaching that enduring abuse is a sign of holiness. Let mercy include protection, truth, and appropriate distance. Restore language where illness has reduced them to labels. They may be a patient, but they are more than a patient. They may be disabled, chronically ill, or in treatment, and these realities deserve respect, but none of them contains the whole story. Remind them of their humor, insight, creativity, tenderness, experience, and capacity to give and receive love. Let identity become wider than symptoms. Father, protect them from false guilt concerning faith. When someone suggests they would be healed if they believed more, give them clarity. When they hear testimonies that stir both hope and sorrow, let them celebrate another person's good without using it as evidence against themselves. Keep them from measuring your love by the speed of a medical outcome. Root them in the cross, where love was given before they could earn it. Give them freedom to ask difficult questions. Receive, why? Receive, how long? Receive, I am angry. Receive, I am afraid. Honest prayer is still prayer. Do not let them believe that respectful lament is rebellion. The Psalms are filled with cries from people who trusted you enough to speak truthfully. Let their lament become a doorway to relationship rather than a wall of shame. Where depression has dimmed desire, bring support. Where anxiety has narrowed the world, bring skilled help in small steps. Where trauma has made the body feel unsafe, lead gently. Where thoughts of self-harm or suicide arise, interrupt isolation and move them toward immediate protection, emergency care, crisis support, and trusted people. Preserve life through every means of help available. Father, we ask for healing. We ask without bargaining and without pretending to know the timetable. Bring relief where relief is possible. Guide research, treatment, and recovery. Restore function where it can be restored. Reduce pain. Improve sleep. Strengthen the body. Calm systems that are overactive and support systems that are weak. We place these requests before you with hope, while leaving room for mystery and responsible care. Give them one measure of strength for today, not an imaginary supply for every future day. When they wake, help them ask, what is the next wise thing, rather than, how will I survive the rest of my life? Break overwhelming questions into faithful actions. Let today's manna be enough for today's obedience. Father, bless sleep. Where pain interrupts rest, guide this person in the safest practices for their condition. Where fear becomes loud at night, bring orientation and calm. Let them remember that they do not have to solve the future in darkness. If sleep remains difficult, lead them to professional help and effective treatment. Free them from shame about a body that does not easily settle. Bless the room around them. Let it become a place of care rather than a symbol of confinement. Bring what is needed within reach. Give wisdom to simplify tasks and reduce unnecessary strain. Let small comforts be received without guilt. Clean sheets, a glass of water, gentle light, music, warmth, coolness, or the presence of someone trustworthy. We surrender the outcome that this person cannot control, not because it does not matter, but because it matters too much to carry alone. We release the exact timeline, the demand for a particular path, and the fear that uncertainty means disaster. Show them what belongs to them today. Help them do that part with courage. Hold what does not belong to them. We surrender other people's opinions. Some may misunderstand. Some may offer careless advice. Some may leave. Give this person freedom from the impossible task of persuading everyone. Provide enough understanding from the right people. Teach them to protect limited energy and invest it where there is respect, safety, and mutual care. We surrender the shame of receiving. Let help become a bridge rather than a verdict. When someone carries a bag, cooks a meal, drives to an appointment, or fills out a form, let this person receive with gratitude instead of apology. Remind them that human life was designed for mutual dependence. Today they may receive more. In another season, their presence, wisdom, or compassion may become a gift to someone else. We surrender the comparison with the person they used to be. Honor the past without making it a weapon against the present. Let memory become a source of tenderness, not contempt. Reveal new ways to express old values. If they once served through activity, perhaps they can serve through listening. If they once created with long hours, perhaps they can create in smaller portions. Keep meaning flexible enough to live within reality. Father, restore permission for joy. Let this person enjoy a good moment without waiting for the next symptom. Let laughter come without guilt. Let beauty be noticed. Let a favorite song, a warm drink, a pet, a window, a conversation, or a quiet morning become evidence that pain is not the only truth in the room. Joy does not deny suffering. It gives the soul room to breathe beside it. Now place a guard around their inner language. When the sentence, "I am a burden" appears, answer it with truth. I am a person with needs, and my needs do not erase my worth. When "I am falling behind" appears, answer, I am living at the pace required for this season. When "my faith is failing" appears, answer, honest dependence is also faith. Let these truths become grounded, not exaggerated. This person does not need to claim that every symptom is gone. They can say, I am loved while symptoms remain. They do not need to claim certainty about tomorrow. They can say, I can seek wisdom for the next step. They do not need to deny fear. They can say, fear is present, and it does not have to make every decision. Father, let the opening truth return now. Physical limitation cannot cancel the sacred worth of this life. Seal that truth in the places shame has occupied. Let it reach the person who feels forgotten in a dark bedroom, the person sitting under fluorescent lights, the person opening another bill, the person using all their energy to appear well, and the person who no longer knows how to explain. Give them the courage to live as someone whose life deserves care. Care may mean treatment. Care may mean rest. Care may mean a boundary, a difficult conversation, a second opinion, a safer home, a support group, or an emergency call. Let holiness never be confused with neglect. Let trust never be confused with silence when help is needed. I ask for a quiet strengthening in their spirit, not a dramatic performance, but a steady assurance that they can meet this day with me. When they cannot feel strong, let them borrow strength from community. When they cannot form words, receive their sigh. When they cannot see far ahead, provide enough light for the next step. My Father, keep them close to truth. Protect them from prosperity messages that treat blessing as proof of health and suffering as proof of failure. Protect them from fear-based messages that turn every symptom into a curse or attack. Give them theology that can stand beside a hospital bed, in a therapy office, at a kitchen table, and through a long recovery. Let truth become compassionate enough to be lived. We thank you for every form of help already present, for the person who listens, for the medicine that helps even a little, for the clinician who takes time, for the technology that increases access, for the meal that requires less energy, for the moment of laughter, for the courage to keep asking questions. Gratitude does not erase what remains hard, but it helps the heart notice that pain has not occupied every inch of life. As this prayer closes, guide this person toward one action in the next 24 hours. Let it be clear and small. Perhaps they will write one question for their doctor. Perhaps they will ask one person for a specific kind of help. Perhaps they will prepare a low-energy plan, cancel something unsafe, or schedule support for their mental health. Let the action be chosen with wisdom rather than pressure. Then give them permission to stop. They do not have to improve their whole life tonight. They do not have to become a better patient, a stronger believer, and a more organized person before resting. Let the next breath be enough. Let the surface beneath them carry their weight. Let their jaw soften, their hands open, and their mind release the demand for certainty. I entrust them to your care, my Father. Keep them in love through every appointment, every change, every improvement, every disappointment, and every unanswered question. Let nothing persuade them that physical capacity is the price of belonging. Give them hope without pressure, courage without denial, and peace that can coexist with honest pain. Your body's limits do not make your life less sacred. You are not a problem to me. You are not a disappointment. You are not required to earn compassion. Receive grace for this day, wisdom for the next step, and permission to seek every form of safe help you need. I am with you in truth, not fantasy. In responsible care, not neglect. In hope, not prediction. Rest in that love now. Amen. If this devotional helped you release shame, you can write, "My life is sacred," in the comments as a simple reminder of today's truth. Like the video if the prayer brought you comfort, subscribe for more scripture-centered encouragement, and share it with someone who may be carrying invisible pain. Before you leave, choose one small, wise action for the next 24 hours, and let that be enough for today.